Yes, I look how I feel. Here is everything you need to know about Coronation Street in 2025. Now, what's that big title for? First, it's clickbait, let's be honest. But second, Kate Brooks, the new executive producer, has been announcing a lot of stuff for 2025 in Coronation Street. Now, it's one thing I've been generally mocking for the last period of time because it felt like Ian McLeod, or whoever the fuck the previous producer was, but it's Ian something, was like, and the year's just ended, but here's all this new stuff to speculate about. It's why I predicted that Lauren was gonna be killed by Nathan Clifton, and I was kind of close. With Bethany's return. But this year it's different. Last year, not being as much of a Coronation Street fan, I was still lamenting the fact that they were announcing long-running storylines when none of the fucking current ones are actually any good. But I've changed my tune this year. So this year, we're going to be talking about all these big storylines that Kate Brooks has talked about so far. Now let's start off with the money. Coronation Street producer reveals Rob Donovan return plans. There we are. That'll be the first one we'll go into because it is an important one. He also recorded a video on the cobble saying, I wonder who's back, and then it shows his face. Coronation Street reveals Todd Grimshaw's 2025 storyline. Spoiler, it's a love interest. Coronation Street announces new characters and surprise exits for 2025. Coronation Street exit fears for Mason in dark new storyline. Coronation Street confirms Cassie Plummer's future in Ken's story. Coronation Street confirms Big Kevin story and new Webster for 2025 ahead of Debbie's dementia. Coronation Street's new producer shares vision for the show future. So we're going to go through it all one by one, and if there's any more, fuck you. Look, it's my first day off, man. What are you doing this for? Pricks. And of course, because it's been announced, I'll have to bloody spend about 40 minutes talking about it. I know how I am. Alright, so let's talk about it though. Rob Donovan. The villain is about to cause a lot of trouble for Carla and Lisa. Kate Brooks has shared details of the dramatic return storyline for Rob Donovan. Mark Bayliss has reprised the role as Carla Connor's villainous brother, who returns to our screens in early January. It's been recently revealed. Let me just pause. Alright, and there we are. Sorry. Have it on the screen so people with eyes. I guess I probably could put it in dark mode. Oh yeah, I have dark mode. It was recently revealed that Carla will be rushed to hospital in New Year. The factory boss is diagnosed with sepsis, and doctors warn this life-threatening condition has damaged her kidney. Notice that previously she had been given Aiden's kidney back in 2015, 2016, roughly. In the aftermath, Carla is told the situation is serious and she'll need another transplant. After Carla's family rally round, her nephew Bobby Crawford takes decisive action by visiting his father Rob in prison. Wasting no time, Bobby asks Rob if he'll consider donating a kidney to Carla. Fucking curses, having a meltdown. Speaking to Digital Spy and other press about challenges ahead for Carla's relationship with Lisa Swing, Brooks replied, there is a big one, a big Rob Donovan return. There are other familiar faces coming back in 2025, which I will not disclose, but a few people will be returning to the street to cause their own form of chaos. I think let's just... Kate has been talking about how there's going to be a lot of chaos. There's going to be chaos, there's going to be new characters, there's going to be people leaving. There's going to be chaos. Expect the unexpected, all that rhetoric. And it's also just said Lisa and Carla are going to be a big story. I think this is going to be Kate's big story. She has masterminded a lot of stuff. She's also an out and proud lesbian, so you can imagine she'll have a bit of a vested interest in. She'll have a bit of a vested interest in having like representation for a lesbian couple. So I do think that Carla and Lisa are gonna be her main like relationship's gonna be her big love story that I think she's gonna invest in it quite heavily. And it's been a while, and it's been a while since we've had a lesbian character on the show. When was the last character who liked been a hot minute now. Like Kate, Rana, Sophie. Like, it's been a long time between drinks. The woman that Tracy was seeing for a while. The elder woman who's also in another soap. Anyway, sorry, got a bit caught, bit lost in the sauce. First up is Rob. On Film of Chaos. First up is Rob. We left Rob languishing in prison. He made mistakes. He comes back to the show, and we think he might be a reformed character who's seen the error of his ways. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. Judging from that fucking approach, I don't think so. This caused a lot of trouble for Carla and Lisa. Just when Carla and Lisa think it's safe to sit down and watch Netflix, Rob Donovan comes along and scuppers all that. So it's a big story for them and a big story for Rob. There are lots of twists and turns, and it's a big story for Betsy as well, who is fabulous and will be right at the centre of it. I love Rob and Carla. I love tapping into their history together. We really explore that through the story. It's going to be eventful for Carla and Lisa. Yeah, see, once again, Carla and Lisa main focus, everything else tertiary. Betsy is obviously a kind of like a, I don't know, she's been incorporated very strongly. She's a great actress. I genuinely believe that Betsy is to Coronation Street like Frankie Osborne or Isabel Smith is to Hollyoaks right now. Just like previously you had Millie Gibson, who was a phenomenal actress and really above her years. Lauren is kinda there, but the storylining's not really been worth it. You know? Like, Lauren is a good actress, but you know, she was kind of thrust in the role when she didn't really suit it. Whereas Betsy, to me, is that, like, she is probably the actress who's gonna move on and do bigger things if they handle it correctly. I love Rob and Carla. We're taking their history together. It's gonna be eventful for Carla and Lisa. Rob is remembered for killing Tina McIntyre. Asked whether Rob is back on a permanent basis. Short Snake Clenshaw reigns supreme. Brooks laughed. It's not just a couple of episodes, it's a good chunk. He killed Tina, but we can get over that. Michelle's fine on Netflix. There we are. It's really exciting. What I like is this story is in particular about how Carla and Lisa are finally together and united. Everybody knows about them and they're moving on with their life. Then this drops. They're like, how did that happen? Are we not meant to be relaxing and enjoying being with each other? It's a real test for the relationship. In the early stages, it's a good test. Rob was last seen on the show in 2017. I mean, yeah, I can imagine Rob will have some opinions about Carla suddenly going gay. For example, like, probably his words, not mine. Like, I don't know. It seems like something that might be a thing. So yeah, Rob Donovan will be back. Hallelujah. Let me just get that picture for a thumbnail. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Looking forward to that. On to the next one. Coronation Street's new producer shares vision for the show future. Expect the unexpected. Sometimes expecting the unexpected doesn't always mean good. I'll say that much, Kate Brooks. But she's been around the block enough to know that that's not exactly it. Yeah. Coronation Street's new producer, Kate Brooks, has shared her overall vision for the show in a new interview. Brooks took charge earlier in the year, and after previously serving as producer on fellow ITV soap Emmerdale. Her first Corrie episodes have been airing in the recent weeks as her material is starting to come through to the screen. In a chat with Digital Spy, Brooks shared her plans for more issue-based storylines and on-screen surprises while making sure that the show sticks to its roots. Okay, I'll say this thing because I do... Issue-based storylines are something, if you're not enjoying the show, you just kind of roll your eyes at. And it's something that's not really that important to have, but it is important to have. But, like, as just a regular viewer, it's just kind of like, oh, fuck, I guess we're being taught something now. But, like, to a wider audience, it can be a good way to educate and help people learn more about things they may not be aware of. Obviously, you have Debbie Webster, who is set to face an ongoing battle with She is set to face a long-running battle with dementia. Like it's another issue-based storyline, but let's be honest, the issue-based storylines are ones that are important to tell the stories and show off the actors and show, like, you know, educate, but also, look, the Soap Awards are back next year. Coronation Street wants to fucking win something for once. It's been a long time between drinks for Coronation Street. They would like to win something. But yeah, I made no attempt to disguise the fact that I'm a fan of Coronation Street. Well, everybody says this. I love the show, it's brilliant. I really want to make sure that our audiences are entertained, Brooke told us. I think it's important that we tell gritty, issue-led stories, and we got those coming up in abundance. Fantastic. Love issue-based stories. But it's about packaging them the right way, keeping them fresh and different without losing the DNA of Corrie. What makes Corrie so wonderfully is the familiarity of it. It's the wit, the characters, all these stories have been packaged with that in mind. That will be the heart of every one. Okay, so that's basically saying we're going to follow what EastEnders is doing. We are going to staple down the clans. We're going to make sure... Because that's how they did it, right? And that's how Hollyoaks kind of reshaped it, shuffled it. It went, all right, we need the families. We need these big families so someone can do something. And the rest of the family's like, oh, well, you done that, you fucking daft mare. For fuck's sake. It would have helped you if you asked, but you did it anyway. So now we got to fucking get involved. Blah, blah, blah. So, you know, like the Beals, the Knights, there is one. Is there a, you know, together family? The Brannings, the Slaters, the Mitchells, etc., etc. And this will be no different. This will be no different. These families are going to be the heart of the stories. Bruce continued, I love telling stories in a non-linear way. I love big, bold stunt storytelling. I think taking a story and telling it in a completely different way that changes people's perspectives is really good for the show, and I want to do more of that. Have you done that so far? As long as we wrote these stories in reality, then the audience will come with us. Yeah. Coming up in 2025, there's loads of really exciting stuff. There are loads of shocks coming up. Just when you think the story going in one direction, it goes a completely different direction. I think bold, innovative storytelling is key, exciting, thrilling drama that really keeps the audience captivated. Yeah. This interview is not a good interview. I'll be honest. This interview is not a very strong interview. Yeah, I'm just going to keep trying to subvert expectations, and it's like, you can only subvert expectations if you're smart. Or you're an idiot. You have to do something so well that nobody will have seen it coming. Or you do something so, like, low brow that some people will just not even think it's an option. I don't know, man. Get a lot of bad vibes. Getting a lot of bad vibes from this interview. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. It's compelling drama, but at the heart of it needs to be truth, and I always find truth in these stories. I am genuinely, not as a producer, just as a fan, excited about what's coming up because all the stories are on fire. Fire! Brooks has confirmed that we'll see many of the show's key families take centre stage in 2025. She said it feels like we got all the big plans in place. The Platts are going to feature really heavily. I'm glad they didn't feature heavily for the year that was Gail Platt's fucking exit. We've got the Websters building that clan. Obviously, there's the post later where Kevin's going to be diagnosed with testicular cancer. And we're going to see Kevin's brother. I don't remember his name right now. But we will talk about it in this video. Seeing those dynamics, the Connors were Lisa and Carla and Betsy and Ryan and Bobby. But I guess Bobby's not really a part of the fucking family then. We're building that family and build the factory. We've got lots coming up, and it's all going to be really exciting. My vision is to make sure that we keep people engaged, keep people entertained, and keep people guessing. We don't want them to become complacent. We want to pull that rug from underneath them sometimes. Is that... Yeah, but that's not what you want in your soaps, man. Nobody watches soaps to have their fucking socks blown off. You watch soaps to just be like, oh, that's really good. And, you know, you get shocked when it's a whodunit. Or you get shocked when it's a fucking... Like, you don't want car crash TV. That's why Hollyoaks is universally fucking panned, man. I really don't like this angle. She has to understand that it doesn't have to be like this. Like, you're controlling the chaos. Maybe I'm just being an old fart about it, but fuck me, lads. Can we just get something good? Fundamentally, can we just get some good storylines, some good actors, and some good writing, please? That's all we need, alright? We're a simple bunch. We just want some good fucking Coronation Street. Not fucking... Oh, well, if you look in the mirror and you see a box, there will be a box that will indeed say, look behind you, it's Boris Johnson. Whoa! I don't know why that's happened. Sorry. Wow, indeed. Blue. Sorry, that's just shit, isn't it? We don't need the expectations subverted. Like, look, in Debbie's battle with dementia, she's not going to suddenly turn around and say, fucking, bloody hell, I've not even got dementia, lol. Fucking joke's on you guys. Ha ha. Like, this interview, someone should have fucking told her to do something different. Not like just the direction of this is not great. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm just being a bit of a mardy arsehole. They're making me do this on my day off. But there's just a lot of it's just not a satisfying interview. It really isn't. Like, I don't want you to subvert my expectations. Like, yeah, sure, do it when the time comes to it. But I don't want you to be like, oh, wait, that's not Debbie, that's Dobby. She is a good elf. It's like, what the fuck are you guys doing, man? We want them to be sat at home with a cup of tea and a biscuit and have something happen that they did not expect. So expect the unexpected in 2025. Yeah, my issue with the expect the unexpected is you have to be a really good writer to actually have people be fooled by it. It's like Tyrion in Game of Thrones. Tyrion suddenly got a lot more stupid in, like, season 5, where he started just joking about cocks and shit and all that nonsense. When, you know, when the writing was done by George R.R. Martin, well, obviously not done, but, you know, adapted. It was adapted from his work, where Tyrion is smart. And then suddenly you don't have that guide for Tyrion. Suddenly he's just fucking, wisecracky dwarf. Great, fantastic. Like, at some point it's no longer smart. Like, I wouldn't trust the previous writer to subvert our expectations. Hey, come on, man. Ask any plans for set changes. Not at the moment, there are no plans. All the sets are working well. Want to see more speed dial, you want to use that more because it's a fantastic set. I think with a street you touch, you meddle at your own peril. And at the moment it works really well. There might be a few refurbs coming up, but nothing crazy. Yeah, I'd imagine the Carla and Lisa's house will get a big change. Alright, sound. So there we are. Expect the unexpected. Great. Can we just expect it to be good? Please. Todd Grimshaw! Coronation Street reveals Todd Grimshaw's 2025 storyline. He's been single for donkey's years. Coronation Street producer Kate Brooks has confirmed plans for Todd Grimshaw to find love again next year. The character has had a quiet time on the screen over the past year or so, but he'll return to prominence in 2025 with a chance of happiness. In a chat with Digital Spy, future romance on the cobble, she replied, there might be a new man for Todd coming. He's been single for donkey's years, and he's fantastic. He's alright. He's not great, let's be honest. The Grimshaws are another big clan I'm eager to explore, so there might be a new man coming for Todd, which will come with its own tests and trials. Meanwhile, discussing other romances, Brooks continue. Yeah, so Todd, new romance. Will it be Moses, like Moses was here last year? Who knows? Meanwhile, discussing other romances, Brooks continued, Alia and Adam is another slow burn. I think it's really interesting to have it in the solicitor's office. We obviously have Dee Dee as well in 2025, just when you thought the Joel story would come to an end, there's another chapter that happens going to completely upend Dee Dee's life. So on the wavelength, the love stories? But then again, this could be talking about the baby, whether she keeps the baby or gives the baby up for adoption. I can imagine she'll probably struggle to give up the baby, and then the Baileys will raise it, but I don't know. Oh, excuse me, just me making predictions from my F-tier not celebrity face. There's a couple of infidelities here and there in 2025, but ultimately the relationships of the Platts, Carla and Lisa, these are all the relationships going to be at the forefront of the show. Once again, notice the Platts and Carla and Lisa rejigging the pieces on the chessboard, wanting them to be more popular. And obviously said they sent definitely a sense that they want to play a relationship story Todd at some point in the future, with Todd saying he's definitely old now, so he's getting old now. Fair enough. So Todd relationship, Adam Ali relationship, not going anywhere. Carla and Swain, of course. Coronation Street announces new characters and surprise exits for 2025. Coronation Street producer Kate Brooks has announced that new characters will be joining the show in 2025. The ITV show decided to introduce a new couple, Mick and his wife Lou, who will live nearby on Maudsley Street. Fans can expect the pair to interact with established characters Chesney Brown and relative newcomer DC Kit Green, who joined the show in May. Speaking to Digital Spy and the other media at the recent press event, Brooks commented, "We got some great characters coming in. They are Mick and Lou. They're going to live at the back of Chesney on Maudsley Street across the Ginnel. They are live wires, they are ruffians, and they're going to cause a lot of damage and chaos. There's a link to Chesney initially, but they are coming to stir up a lot of trouble." Let's be honest, is there a chance that is there a chance that him and Mick are the ones who have been fighting? Like, with a little, like, the van. But they're coming up to stir a lot of trouble. They open the floodgates by unpacking the past of Kit, who's one of our big characters. I mean, fair enough. Look, Kit, people don't really like Kit too much. I like Kit because I liked him as Damon on Hollyoaks, and he's already been given more shit to do than he did ever have on Hollyoaks. I think he suits the role. I think it's an interesting take, and I think it's nice to see him elevated to be a much bigger character than he ever was before. Hollyoaks was a good test to purchase. I could see him lasting a long fucking time on Coronation Street. How long was he in Hollyoaks for? He was there for 5 years. Yeah, I can see him being in it for the long haul. Like, he's a... Fuck me, he's only 34. Jesus. God damn. That's a man right there. Sorry. But you know, he seems to have no problem staying in soap, so I think he'll be a character for the future. But yeah, initially, she continued, really excited. They opened the floodgates by unpacking the past. Kitty's one of the big characters. She continued, really excited. They come with the oodles of drama and they're shaking things up. They're neighbours from hell, they're over-familiar, likeable, and they've got kids. Okay, so they're more like a Les, Janice, more like the Battersbys, in a sense. Initially, they develop a friendship with Chesney and Gemma, but there are other things to unpack. I wouldn't want to get on the wrong side of them, especially Mick. They're brilliant actors. They're coming to cause some chaos on the street, and they're going to leave a trail of devastation. Coming onto the streets, guns blazing around February time. They are really chaotic, but really enjoyable. They have a charm to them, but they do and say things that you shouldn't. Oh, fucking hell. Here we go. So, are they the Taylors then? Whew. As for Mick and Lou, Brooks announced as well as Mick and Lou, to introduce Kevin and Debbie's younger half brother Carl, who has never featured in the show until now. As for the 2025 will feature some cast exits, Brooks confirmed there are a few exits this year and some unexpected ones that will send shockwaves. People might not expect the exits, but there are a few. I mean, there are. It's a new executive producer taking control. So the characters who haven't really done much in this era, and we'll come to see with time who they are going to prioritize. some characters will be leaving the show. Like, at the end of the day, if you're not part of a big, strong family, you are at risk. I don't know. Part of me's starting to think that maybe Toya might be leaving. Just because of how the Leanne and Toya relationship has gone. She's been implicated a lot. She's kind of on the ways out, but I don't know. But yeah, there we are. That's that. So new characters, Mick and Lou. Hallelujah. Coronation Street exit fears for Mason in new dark story. Do I have anything else I haven't said about that one though? Look, Mick and Lou, gonna be interesting to see. I always groan at you say things you shouldn't. Like, come on, it's not a funny trait. It should be being a prick. Excuse me. I'm excited to see them in February. Sound. They have kids. You know, are they going to be the trashy family on the street? Who the fuck knows? Coronation Street has announced plans to explore knife crime in a dark new storyline for Mason Radcliffe. Mason is stabbed during an altercation with his brothers, Matty and Logan, in early January, leaving the Weatherfield community in shock as he fights for his life. Upcoming episodes see Mason agree to help D.S. Swain gather evidence against his villainous siblings. Lisa is convinced that Matty and Logan were involved in the death of her late wife Becky, a fellow police detective who sadly lost his life in the line of duty. Fuck it, I'll just stop here and I will kind of go through it. I like Mason. I think he's interesting. I think he's a cool character. I think they definitely want him to be the young success story as well. Just like they want him and Betsy to be characters that stand out. They've kind of thrust them into the main spot. But it's always interesting when you take a character with a dodgy past, like when you brought in like Millie Gibson, when you brought in Kelly. She did spread Asher's like nude pictures around. You know, she did fucking cause a lot of pain for Asher. And so you have Mason, who's now been elevated to be one of the key younger characters, who was bullying Liam to the point of his fucking near death. And it's kind of a hard one to really take, because a lot of people don't really like him. They don't like the fucking eyeliner. Of course, he's gotten better now that he's no longer a bully. But still, it's a lot of... and obviously, he's no longer the big bad because his brothers are here and they're the big bad. But I don't know. I don't understand the emphasis on this character. I don't think he's particularly great. They're really trying to shave down the edges, but I don't know if it's working necessarily. Like, I don't know if it's working. But he's look, the act can't complain. He's been given pretty good material anyway, so. I mean, similar to fuck, who is he called? Amy's ex. Who Damon's son. That one. Jacob. There we are. But yeah, there we are. While Dylan helpfully acts as a lookout, Mason searches Matty and Logan's flat. He finds a World War II helmet which could link them to the scene of the crime, so he hands it over to Lisa. However, there's no target on his back. Mason makes plans to leave Weatherfield to escape from his brothers. Wanting to set things right before he goes, Mason tries to convince Betsy that he had nothing to do with the death of Becky. He also makes a genuine apology to his former schoolmate Liam Connor for cruelly bullying him last year. Later, Matty and Logan are released after facing police questioning him over the helmet. Head straight to find Mason and Dylan, cornering them at the precinct. Shortly afterwards, Abby is horrified when she finds Mason bleeding from a stab wound in the children's play area. Ambulance is called. Dylan explains that Matty and Logan stabbed Mason with the zombie knife. Abby and Betsy both accompany Mason in the ambulance to rush to hospital. They try to reassure Mason that he's going to be okay, but will he survive? Speaking about the dark storyline, Coronation Street producer Kate Brooks told Digital Spy and the other press, we start the year with a big knife crime story. Very important story to tackle because the statistics are so alarming. We're working closely with the Ben Kinsella Foundation to make sure we're telling the story right, and that the message is to not carry a knife out of fear, because that escalates everything. So, yeah. So is Dylan going to bring out his knife again? We know that we're tackling a sensitive storyline and it's going to be very hard-hitting. We have Mason at the centre of it, Dylan and Betcha involved in some massive ramifications for Abby and for Tim and Sally involved. Bruce continued, we felt like it was a subject that we couldn't ignore. It isn't a subject matter that we tackle lightly, it's an important one to talk about and let young people know that carrying a blade article is not the real way. It's a real community story and shocking story. I love shock storytelling tactics. Please. I think they work and they keep people guessing. It's definitely a shock. We're telling it. Oh, for fuck's sake! Telling the story in a very interesting way. It's not the usual linear storytelling. It's different and it's bold, but I think it's really impactful to how we're telling it. Stop fucking saying this, man! Please. Obviously, if she does good and she's really good, we're gonna look past it. But for fuck's sake, stop! Just say, "Oh, it's gonna be a really big story. It's gonna be really important." But obviously, she wants to distance herself from the previous era of the show, which was fucking boring as shit. Said as a Coronation Street fan. But it is just them saying, yeah, it's not going to be the same old shit that we had last time. Yep, great. Now, how's my new dad going to be better? Coronation Street confirms Cassie Plummer's future in Ken's story. She'll be struggling with a good angel, bad angel on her shoulder. Coronation Street's producer Kate Brooks has spoken about Cassie Plummer's future in the show after a recent manipulation of Ken Barlow. Cassie recently turned nasty by secretly poisoning Ken so he'd feel unwell and reliant on her, allowing her to keep her job as his unofficial carer. The scheme paid off for Cassie when Ken abandoned plans to let her go. Just days after breaking the bad news, she was sacked. He did a U-turn and invited Cassie back with a pay rise. That will continue. Cassie is great to have with the Barlows, which causes such fun, and I love her relationship with Ken, which is just wonderful. There'll be more of that. The friendship is genuine and real, but Cassie has had a bad life. She has terrible upbringing. She's made mistakes in the past that sometimes it's hard to shake off that persona. That's what we'll see with Cassie. She'll be struggling with a good angel and bad angel on her shoulder, and which way is she going to go. She does stir up a lot of trouble and a lot of bother, not just with the Barlows, but within number 9, so Tara and Fizz as well. So Cassie and Ken, keep your eyes on them because it's going to get good. Les Sweeney plays Cassie, previously experienced fear of fan backlash for being with Ken Barlow. Yeah, sound. I don't care for the storyline. I'd be real with you. I don't care. I don't care about Cassie. I don't really think her introduction's been great. I don't really think they've made her that interesting as a whole. I don't know. Once again, this is a miss for me. It's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, sure, Cassie and Ken, but I don't like Cassie and Ken's relationship. I don't like how she calls him Kenny. It doesn't work for me. Coronation Street confirms Big Kevin's story and new Webster for 2025. Coronation Street's announced some big new plans for the Webster family in 2025. The ITV soap will launch a new issue-based storyline in the new year as long-standing Kevin is diagnosed with testicular cancer. Show bosses will also introduce Kevin and Debbie's younger brother, half-brother Carl Webster, for the first time. Brooks explained, the Websters are brilliant. Kevin and Sally are at the heart of it, and then you've got Tim and you've got Abby. They're a great character group. As we go into the new year, Kevin will discover that he's got testicular cancer, which was a massive strain in his relationship. Abby is a really strong character, but she's going through her own turmoil at the same time. I want to tell this really truthfully. Ultimately, it's about Kevin and Abby and relationship and testing that relationship. She continued, it's really important that we don't show Kevin being embarrassed or reticent to talk to his friends about it. He's quite open about it, which I thought was refreshing. I mean, Kevin's not... The only secrets Kevin hides are the ones where he's having an affair. Kevin talks to Tim and Steve about it. They have their own way of handling it, but ultimately it's going to be his relationship with Abby that's going to truly be tested. Abby's going through her own situations. She struggles with the aftermath of a big event that happens in January. What is the... Oh, the stabbing. Okay. She loves Kevin and loves her, but temptation comes Abby's way. With Corey planning to focus more on the Websters next year, Kevin and Debbie's sibling Carl will be brought into the show to expand the family. Carl, who being in his late 30s, is the son of Bill Webster and his second wife Elaine. The character grew up in Germany and never featured on screen till now. We're excited we've got Carl Webster coming to the show as Debbie and Kevin's brother to build up that Webster clan. We've got big stories coming for Debbie and Kevin. It's about building that clan up for me. For me, the Websters, the Barlows, and Platt are the big clans. And there we are. So that's all the stuff that's been teased. Just to spend some more time. I think it'll be an interesting story. Kevin doesn't really get much storyline anymore. He gets a lot of shine, but he doesn't really get the main storylines anymore. They've stopped making him cheat on his fucking wives. Ultimately, which was usually the thing. You know, I like Sally and Kevin. Even though Kevin day by day is just turning into a fucking raisin. It's skin like leather. And I just... Yeah, be interesting. And obviously the introduction of the brother, Carl. It's like I was saying when they announced the Debbie Webster dementia storyline. They need more characters to interact. Because you'll have what I'd imagine is that family. You have Ryan, you have Abby, Kevin, Jack, Ronnie. Like, that's the only real people who would be affected by Debbie's cancer, in a sense. So you do need more characters to have the heartbreak, like, bounce off them. So, yeah, it's gonna be a good story. It depends how much shine it gets. It's probably gonna be a short-term one. Let's be honest, it's probably gonna be like a 2 to 3 month. Kevin, oh, you don't have it anymore. Okay, cool. But yeah, it's not much else to go off with that. It's a pretty interesting set of stories. So yes, that is everything you need to know about Coronation Street in 2025. What am I most looking forward to? Probably the Rob Donovan return. I'm excited to see the new characters. I'm glad that they've taken the focus like EastEnders did the previous year, where now it is about building these families and families being at the core. Because a lot of people have been complaining about Coronation Street in a sense, because recently they have taken the approach like, oh, it's a bloody crime show, and it's like, you don't need all these fucking coppers, man. Like, for fuck's, stop having it being so like crime heavy. EastEnders already made the transition out of crime stuff. Stop fucking doing it. Stop doing the fucking crime stuff. For the love of God. But yeah. There we are. What are you most excited for? Tell me in the comments section down below. I've been Ash from Watching Walford. I'm gonna go fucking spend my day chilling out because it's my fucking day off. Thanks for watching. Join me in the next one and subscribe for more Coronation Street news.